Hi, everyone. Welcome to the read for this week. Coming up a little bit late, a day late, dollar short. Again, lots of construction, so it's been tough to get things done, as well as life, right? So today we're going to talk. Oops, gonna shake the whole building. Well, I'm shaking. You can't tell, but you can probably hear it. So we'll just wait till it goes by. This is the read for the week, but it's also we're delving into our chakras. So this week we're looking at sacral chakra. We'll go through the slides in a minute here, but basically, sacral chakra has a lot to do with our. It always gets into sexuality and sensuality as part of the thing, but the big thing that it is that it is that balance of our energies, the masculine and the feminine energies within our body. It's also the womb, so for women, obviously. So it is, our basically it's our birthing center, but it's when it comes to sacral chakra, it's just more about creativity and birthing new things. So it'll be interesting to see when we get to the cards what they have to say for this week, because yeah, we're birthing a whole new world right now. I said that right at 1:44. Okay, so without any further ado, let's talk a little bit about sacral chakra and the things that you could do to help yourself out, to balance it, um, to all kinds of things. Okay, here, is it coming? There we go, maybe. Oh, there we go. All right, so as before, we'll go through some different points about sacral chakra, and then yeah, we'll go from there. I'm just gonna turn my camera off while I do this part. All right, so I'm not gonna try to butcher this name, but let's try to say it. Why not? Svadhisthana is our sacral chakra. Oops. It's located 2 inches below our navel or your belly button, and covers the upper pelvis. The color is represented by orange. The element is water, and our sensory is taste. My cute little deer there eating an orange. Sorry, I put a lot of time and effort into these slides. These slides are part of my Chakra 101 class, so you're just getting a few of them, but it was a lot of work and a lot of effort, and it was also fun. It was a good way to pass when we were in lockdown. Okay. Uh, the keys with sacral chakra is the mantra is, or not mantra, sorry, everybody. Construct is I feel, and the key words are feelings, emotions, pleasure, and creativity. Okay, so like we discussed, it represents sensuality and sexuality, pleasure, procreation, creativity, and the balance of our masculine and feminine energies. On the spiritual side, when we have it at its optimum, we're in good physical and emotional health. We can express joy and just generally have a really good sense of well-being that puts us in a really creative space. The soul lesson is peace and wisdom, which comes through our mental and physical health, well-being, abundance, content, and peaceful. The nature experience attached with this would be moonlight or clear water, or if you can get both, like in this picture, man, are you winning? Yeah, so moon bathing, we talk about getting out in the sun all the time, but it's powerful and amazing to be underneath the moon. So if you can get out into, what do we have coming up here? A full moon. Yeah, like if it happens to be clear this weekend, I would just sitting outside and gazing at the moon it does have a very powerful energy exchange. So, and that being said, too, I'm just gonna throw this in, is that I will be doing a moon video this weekend. So there'll be two up this week. So the flower associated it with is jasmine. Again, you can use essential oils or any aromatherapy. There's a bunch of different oils. Um, oops. Hang on a second. We're going too fast. Nope. Sorry, everybody. Ah. Okay. Aromatherapy wise, yeah, you've got some good options, and you'll often find that just even smelling these really helps boost your mood. So we're looking at cinnamon, sandalwood, lang lang, neroli, orange, bergamot, and of course, jasmine again. Our crystals are carnelian, orange calcite, tiger's eye, sunstone, onyx. Again, the heavier stones, if you're dealing with heavier things, or like citrine's really, or sorry, calcite's really good for just bringing in light energy. Same with sunstone, even carnelian. But then if you need heavier duty or work, you're going to do onyx, that kind of thing. And again, crystals, really easy, right? Just holding in our hands and doing meditation with them. We're just carrying them around on our person. Carnelian is the main stone. It's the feel better stone. It brings vitality and enhances our self-esteem and personal power. It's kind of funny, like just knowing like next that solar plexus is next. They're very intertwined, those two. So usually when you're working on one, you're working on both. They kind of work hand in hand to produce our personal power. So, if you're looking at, if you're healing sacral, you're also doing a little bit of work with solar plexus. So when we get there, any of those things that resonate for that, totally use them, and just know that you're kind of healing both. The metal's tin, if you want to wear tin. I don't know. Okay. Our associated archangel is Metatron for sacral, and Saint Germain is our ascended master. Again, I'm not going to go into too many details about the angels and ancestors, but if you feel like that's a path you want to take, it's always really good to research that person, that entity, or whatever, just so that you're getting, it's part of the process, I think, of when you're healing chakras too. So if you're calling on these people to help, then you need to make sure you're also aware of who they are, what they stand for. Um, Particularly with the chakras, they're very connected to the chakras, and usually their purpose in the afterlife, or whatever you want to call it, in the other side, is really close to what needs to be healed within that chakra. So it is good to, and sometimes, just actually doing some little bit of research and reading on something really helps to heal us. It can give us like insights into what we should be doing to heal these things. So I do strongly encourage research. All right, activities if you're going to help, get sacral chakra moving. The number one is create. So dance, paint, even if you're not an artistic person, it's just like find something that gets you moving and doing and going. Baths or anything that's kind of sensual in nature too. Again, sensual doesn't need to be sexual. You sure could be intimate if you wanted to be. But with sacral chakra, it's really important that it's, let's say it's meaningful. If we're just doing it for the sake of doing it, that's not necessarily helping or healing that chakra, right? Especially if it's not a good experience, right? So it needs to be with love, right? So really take care of yourself on that one. But there's many other ways you can heal chakras than, those. So again, two of the easiest things: be grateful and just live your life. Get out there, do things, be present, shake your hips. All right. I forgot this on the last one, fruit, but foods. Again, pretty much anything orange. So we got persimmons. Any tree nut is also good. Um, yeah, pumpkin, squash, make yourself a soup, or eat some nuts. All right. And then, oops, sorry, everybody. Okay. Um, okay. Sorry, I lost my track there. Someone came in and handed me a note, so I just had to check that really quick. Okay. Sound and mantra. The note is D. Seed sound is a short O, and the mantra is VOM. Usually residing in a frequency of about 417 hertz. Hertz definitely vary. So one of the good things too um, is just to get is just to to bring up a song on any of the streaming things that's sacral chakra healing. The dance or the movement is definitely like moving your hips, so Latin spicy, like shaking your hips kind of stuff. So yeah, if good creativities, maybe you just want to throw on some music and freeform dance and get everything moving. All right, we're gonna stop there for a second, and we'll come back to the mantras. Okay, fun, hey? Yeah, like I said, we're just doing this for fun, and it just helps us to see if we've got what we want to do, like to heal our chakras. Like I said, I think it's important to be looking at them and being in tune with them and feeling at least that they're in a good place. All right, let's look at the overall picture for the week. What are we looking at? I can find out. We got the High Priestess. I lift the veils of ignorance and darkness. Yeah, I think, you know, not just in how it relates to sacral chakra, but I feel like we're just in the great reveal right now, and whew, it's a lot. I know it's a ton of information coming. There's always these energies. The nice thing though for this week too is that Mercury went direct, so out of retrograde. But it's funny because I was there was a meme and it's like Mercury's out of retrograde, everything's your fault again. um let's see, so it's just truths are revealed, energy shifts forward, clarity is high on the list, things becoming more clear, and our thoughts and those patterns are able to change now that we're moving forward. So, I mean, we're in a period of, like we said, information coming out practically every day. So it's just we need to just keep, you know, it's almost like I don't want to say keep up with it, but just really try to manage it. And just we just have to like it's almost like listen to it, discern it, take it if it's good for you, leave it if it's not. And just because this onslaught of information is not going to stop. Yeah, I had a feeling we were going to get that card. The expectation card for me is always like, a great change is on the horizon. This person's looking up at what is coming, right? So yeah, we're all just in this. And I always say this kind of looks like it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. So, I mean, yeah, it's tumultuous and it's a little bit nuts right now, but by the opening cards, it's like we're exactly where we need to be. It's just, I know it's hard because it's like sometimes, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I've wanted to just give up sometimes, right? I was like, this can't continue on. Like, how much more can we take? But um, we've got a ways to go. So it's really important that we're in tune and in a space where, like some of it might take time to digest and discern, but it's just like take all the time you need with it, but make sure again, it's just making sure we're at our strongest and greatest ability to handle this and process it and then move on and handle it and process and move on. I really truly believe that's, why we're here. And whether you think you're doing it or not, by participating and working towards this stuff, it really is, putting out, like, we're ready to put ourselves in a position to help others, right? So it's just like, just keep going and just, do your best. I think the other thing too is I titled this sacral video, I Feel Good. And so I think it's really important because, as I said, like, it's all of our emotions, right? Feeling. But it really has to do with us, making sure we're in a good place with everything. So constantly checking in, working with our emotions, and then, not staying in one, releasing what needs to be released, all of those things. But really, honestly, for our health, our overall energetic health, is we're checking in with this stuff every single day. It's almost like check in with fruit. Do I feel grounded? Do I feel safe and secure? If not, what work can we do around that? Today it's sacral. Okay, do I feel good about everything? Do I want to create? Do I want to, like, explore? And again, creating too is just like, that can be our straight up manifestation of just like creating the new earth, like what we want to see. So I just think it's really important. And the reason I think we're doing this chakra thing, ooh, here goes the shaky machine again, is because we're really being asked to just, it's self-care 101, um, and to really be paying attention to um, ourselves and making sure we're in a good energetic form as we go through all of this. Okay, oops. Okay, I had a feeling that was, sorry, and I've just shortened these decks to, yeah, okay. And again, we're just using the, the color ones. That's so fun. Can't make this stuff. That's always my favorite part. Yeah, okay, I get that. Okay, there's two for that. Okay. Okay, first up for this week, the money card comes up under, it's funny because it's under sacral, which, like, that tends to be more of a root issue. But again, like, these lower chakras really kind of um sort of blend into each other about, like, if we're feeling rooted, grounded, safe, and secure, even when it comes to this, to financials, is that, then we can feel happier and joy and things like that. So we're able to create and dream and that kind of stuff. When this stuff's not going well, um, we're, oh well, if you're like me, you're preoccupied with all of this. So we know right now the world is going through a massive shift in how, what is currency. And I'm going to tell you, it's what the cards are coming up next. So finances, power, generosity, and abundance. Again, I think the key is going to be abundance of the sacral energy. So where, being grateful for what we have, working on abundance and manifesting more, creating more. So that doesn't mean you might create, you might write a book and get paid for it, but we've got to start turning in that, like, actual, like, dollar bills and stuff is, like, that's not the new currency, right? Love is the new currency. So it's like, really, maybe this week focusing on ways to do this differently. Like, honestly, pretend that that system's gone. If that, and it's supposed to be going. It's got to go. There's supposed to be a new one coming in. It's it's complicated, but we have to keep ourselves in alignment with abundance so that that next stage we get what we need, right? So, yeah, if at all possible, it is really important to, I think, just looking at new ways of not necessarily making money, but like how could we also generate more love and more abundance in our lives? Um, like I said, you can't make this stuff up. We got the creativity card, which is completely just sacral chakra. So I think this week, like what I'm getting so far is that it's really important that we're doing the work in terms of manifestation and really painting the picture of what's to come or what we want to see. So we may not be able to, like, we can also use the construct of this as like also use the thing like I feel. Um, so our emotions, like get creative with how, again, sometimes I've said like when we're talking about manifestation, we may not necessarily be talking about, you know, physical items and things and tangible stuff. It's like, what do we want to feel in the future? Like, you know, like is it joy? Is it bliss? Like, those sorts of things are just as important to be manifesting, right? Then we leave it up to the universe to like, how do we get that joy? Who knows, right? It's really important that we're like, and again, we also got the Into Me I See card. So again, I think I did this once before. Yeah, there's seven lights around. So these for me would be the seven chakras, but they're in alignment to the point that we are emanating white light, right? So this is where we want to be, light body. Um, Again, because this card comes up, it's this week is a lot of like back into with sacral chakra doing really deep personal work. And so looking into yourself. And again, when we're looking inward, what do we want to see? Into me, I see, but who am I in the future? Who am I? What do I want to feel? Use that, really get into sacral chakra this week and be like, and again, doing the work around what other ways can we create abundance? There's like tons of them. And I get the energy's not totally in yet, and it'll feel a little tough to get things moving, but I feel like what this chakra thing is, besides getting them aligned, is that we are really being asked also um, to just keep the health of them so that when the timing is right, it's an easy transition for us to just move forward because we've got our plan in place, our personal plan for what's coming. We also got the impasse card. Now, this one I always take though. There's always stuff in our way, life in general sometimes, distracts us enough that we're not doing the work. But when this comes up in a reading for others, I always say it's about there's something a little bit about a decision that needs to be made. Um, Again, we've got that nice big full moon in there, which is coming up on Saturday. So really take a look at like things you need to make decisions on in your life. And this, I feel, is like going back to the other cards, is more of a personal uh, quest. It's not like a decision about a career or a relationship or anything like that. This is just personal about who do I want to be moving forward. The other thing that popped out to you is the self-worth card. So again, that ties in heavily to solar plexus. You'll see when we get there next time. But it's so important right now that we're we're manifesting who we want to be. We're creating who we want to be, but we're really being nice to ourselves and like I am worthy to. I always say this is like this isolation all around, but the throne is there for us to take, to be seated in our and centered in our beautiful self and doing the work. So, yeah, do a little bit of work around, again, self-worth, abundance, all of that. Like, how can we create this new, what, and maybe that's like part of your thing is to figure out what can we create? Um, what can we create? That like what new system do we need or what feeling do we need everybody in to get to this? So lots of good deep diving there this week with sacral chakra. All right, let's do the affirmations as a meditation, and then we will leave it for today. All right. Technology. I got to get a new computer. My mouse doesn't work as my tracking thing doesn't work really good anymore. All right. Affirmations. I love my life. Here's the one centering around self worth. I honor my body and treat myself respectfully. I love who I am as I am. Our blessing. I am blessed with joyful and abundant life that comes from having a healthy, whole body, mind, and creative spirit. All right, we'll do these again. If you want to close your eyes, take a couple good deep breaths, get centered, and you can repeat after me or just listen to them as I say them. I love my life. I honor my body and treat myself respectfully. I love who I am as I am. Our blessing. I am blessed with a joyful and abundant life that comes from having a healthy and whole body, mind, and creative spirit. Just take a couple more nice deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's do a couple Christ consciousness and then we'll leave this reading here. And like I said, we'll catch back up at the end of the week with the moon read for Saturday. Anything else we need to be working on? Okay. First up, we have working on finding holiness within. Again, it couldn't be more sacral chakra than that because it's not just about us respecting and treating ourselves well. It's us finding, knowing that we're divine. We have holiness within. So it really feels this week like it's really important that we're just really not just examining ourselves and what we want and where we're headed, but like it feels like the push or the call right now is to really just we're being really hard on ourselves. I know I have been this way and it's been very difficult because, and it's funny, I base my life off of, oh, I just put it away. I base my life off of this. And it's like, does any of that really matter? Because what really matters is love and what's inside, right? So it's us kind of like it's that same thing that I said to someone though too, is that it is kind of difficult at the moment because we're watching the old world die and it's all we ever have known. So we don't know what's coming. We hope and pray and manifest that it's something more miraculous and way better. And I truly do believe that, but it's hard to put things into motion when you're not sure of the picture, right? So I'm getting most of all, it's really important about our self-worth this week and about how we're treating ourselves again. So we got gentleness as well. Respond softly. So again, I don't feel this has a lot to do with our outward relationships and things. I think this is all about our self relationship and our emotions and how, what can we do to make ourselves feel good? You know, what how can we feel more abundant, more loving, more caring? And then the reason for the season coming up again. um, just as we're getting close to holy season, we're in it, but it's Jesus and it's follow my lead. So yeah, I'm not saying go out and read a bunch of Bible verses and become um and be, that if that's what you might find some really good answers in there. Um, but it's even just the simple things like, what would Jesus do? It's always that funny question. It's like, um, it kind of can lead you down some interesting pathways about yourself and who you are and how you deal with situations. So just the thought to put out there. Okay, we'll do 3 golden futures, and that's where we'll leave this video. Oh, interesting that that came up at the same time with that guy. Okay, I'm going to read the first two again. I'm not even going to read them because it's exactly what came up last week. The psychic gifts. Again, always go back to those and start trusting yourself and your intuition. That's part of the self-worth that we're talking about, is like when you don't trust yourself and the information you're getting, then it's not being acted on in terms of like developing it more and manifesting more of that. So really, again, it's all about paying attention and nurturing and learning that. We also got, again, the golden stellar internet. Communicate in fifth dimensional ways. This is the thing I'm talking about, though, is that we're like, I don't know how to do that. But we need, if we're going to be creating this, we create this. That's the thing. It's funny, like again, we've got blank pages and we're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's some part of us that, there's a further awakening coming, which is more of a remembering where we're like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. So really start to like, there's lots of going within still in these next couple of days, weeks, months. We also got the economy, which is funny that it came up with the money card. So trust your needs will be met. I think this is the biggest thing. And it's very likely that the old system might be like, and, you know, just trust the universe has your back and it's going to be okay. And we're going to do this and it's going to be fine. Like, I think that it's really critical not to be worrying about it. And I hate to say it, like, sometimes I'm just like, when it comes to money and I start worrying, I'm just like, none of this matters. It's not what matters right now, but we're really being distracted by it. So try to pull yourself out of that mindset and put yourself in the mindset of everything's okay, everything's taken care of. We're going to be fine. The universe has our back. This has been planned out forever, and we were always meant to thrive at the end of it. So don't panic. All right, take care of yourselves this week, you guys, and we will see you in the next one.